It began at the beginning of the last century. A man living in Nevada tried to start actively engaging in farming. However, it was difficult to find a water source among the desert territories. He began to drill a well, but did not know at what depth the water layer might lie. After a large amount of drilling work, it turned out that the water first found was very hot, reaching a temperature of 150 degrees Celsius. The man did not give up and continued drilling. However, he could not achieve results in such conditions. Over time, the farmer gave up the idea, which he never returned to. He ran a farm, but not on the scale he originally planned. And only about 60 years later, on the same site, on the territory of the existing new farm, its owners took up a similar venture. They were aware of the negative drilling experience, so they decided that the use of specialized equipment was absolutely necessary. After the start of work, it turned out that even modern equipment of that time was not capable of drilling in such an aggressive environment. However, the farmers managed to achieve a greater result than their predecessor. The water that they managed to reach began to pulsate, reaching the surface under pressure. A hot geyser appeared. The landscape around which this process changed was continuous, albeit slow. Thus began the history of the emergence and formation of geysers, which today attracts thousands of tourists from different countries. The geyser is located in the desert in Nevada. It is the result of the combined work of man and nature. It did not appear immediately after the last drilling. Apparently, powerful drilling and installation disrupted the layer, through which the water stream gradually began to seep. After a few years, it broke through to the outside, then gained greater height than initially. However, the most amazing thing is different. Around the geysers, a solid layer, a so-called growth, continuously increases, rising above the desert. It is characterized by a whimsical shape and shimmers with different colors. A jet of water splashes from above. There are 3 jets in the geysers, so the layer includes 3 slightly different growths. They increase annually due to the fact that along with the water, different minerals and compounds come out of the ground, which crystallize in surface conditions and turn into solid particles. Today the geyser weighs several tons. Along with the layer, it changes depending on the time of year, conditions, especially the composition of the water inside. The colors are due to cyanobacteria, whose behavior affects the external appearance and design of the attraction. Now the biological environment around the geysers is actively developing. Several species of fish and birds have already settled in the place, adding even more color. As a landmark, the place was recognized recently. Only in 2016 did the world learn about it, and before that, information about the place was not widespread. It all started when one of the representatives of a tourist company talked to the residents of a nearby settlement. They told about the geyser, so the man rushed to see the curiosity. Almost immediately, the tour operator announced his intention to gather groups of people for trips. The geyser has become popular among American and foreign tourists. Today, many people come here to enjoy the beautiful views of this incredible wonder created by human hands and nature. The geyser is not only visited by curious tourists. Photographers come here who want to capture the incredible colors inherent in the landscape of this place. As the news about the geyser spread, not only tourists and photographers, but also scientists from all over the world began to arrive. Interest in this place was due to the unique combination of human activity and natural processes. Geologists and biologists began to study the composition of the water and minerals forming the colored growth around the geysers. They discovered that each of the 3 jets of the geyser has its own unique chemical and mineral composition, which leads to differences in the color and shape of the growths. Ecologists noted the uniqueness of the biological environment forming around the geysers. Some types of bacteria found here were completely new to science, which provoked great interest in the scientific community. These bacteria, living in the extreme conditions of the hot water of the geyser, could provide the key to understanding the processes of life in extreme conditions, which was important for research in the field of astrobiology and the search for life on other planets. Local authorities, considering the growing interest in the geyser, began developing plans to create a national park around it. Routes for excursions were developed, observation platforms were equipped, and measures were provided to protect the unique natural environment. With each year, the geyser attracted more and more attention. It became clear that it was not just a tourist attraction, but also a valuable object for scientific research, as well as a unique example of the symbiosis of human activity and nature, demonstrating unexpected and impressive results of collaboration.